Hello. This is Figs and Flights video number 4.
Quattro.
Today, we're talking about traveling with the Marine Corps. I'm Angela, the creator of the blog Figs and Flights, and today I am your civilian guide.
I'm Bryce, Angela's husband, Mr. Figs and Flights, also a Marine. For all those other people that speak Marine jargon, I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years on active duty. 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines. What? And I did 1 combat tour to Iraq.
All right, Marine, what are you drinking?
Today, I'm drinking a little cactus water, which is great and refreshing.
I'm drinking Nectar of the Gods coffee. All right, let's get it started, Bryce. We are going to cover your travels in the Marine Corps from California to Hawaii to Iraq and back. So start by telling us exactly what are the Marines.
The Marines are the few, the proud. We're the smallest branch of the military services. We are the tip of the spear, which means we're first to fight. We're also called devil dogs, leathernecks, and even sometimes jarheads. And once a Marine, you're always a Marine.
Forever?
Hoorah.
It's a lot of Marine stuff for you. California was your home. From there, how and where do you go about becoming a Marine?
So I enlisted in the Marine Corps, and you go to boot camp in San Diego. So I was picked up in the early hours of the morning by my recruiter, and then he took me to LA to finish all of my paperwork, and then I got on a bus with a bunch of other hopeful civilians that wanted to become a Marine and went to boot camp. We were there for 13 weeks, which was a living hell, right? They break you down, build you back up as a team, and then after those 13 weeks, you earn the title Marine. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Army Navy was not for me. Air Force is just too easy. What I need is a little bit more. I need a life that is hardcore. A Paris Island where it all began. A little rock with lots of sand. Can't forget about Hollywood.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
You become a Marine at the end of boot camp. What happens next?
So after boot camp, you have a couple more trainings. The first training is in Camp Pendleton, California, Marine Combat Training, where you're there for 30 days. And I got there by way of a car. My parents dropped me off, still a little 19-year-old, getting dropped off by mom and dad.
You didn't have to fly, though. You were close enough.
I was close enough, so they were able to drop me off.
Okay, still in California.
Still in California. The next training is in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and that is motor transportation school. And that I got there on a commercial airplane, like a regular civilian, and I was there for 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then comes Hawaii, of course, your duty station. How did you feel when you found out you were being stationed in Hawaii?
My first feeling was actually I was a little sad. I'm from California. A bunch of my buddies got stationed at Camp Pendleton, which is in Southern California, close to my house. I really wanted to kind of be there. It was close to home and my family. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, man, Hawaii, I've been there only once. They're gonna pay me to live 3 years in Hawaii. I was getting more excited about that. I was like, yeah, all right, I could do this. So not the traditional reaction when I first thought I was gonna go there.
You know better now. How did you get to Hawaii?
So I flew there on a civilian aircraft into Honolulu Airport, and then I reported into Kaneohe Bay Marine Corps Base, and I lived there for the next little over 3 years.
While you're there, you're stationed on the island of Oahu, but you went to the Big Island for training a few times. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we would go to the Big Island once a year and do training. And so I was there 3 times. And one time I took Hawaiian Airlines civilian aircraft over to Kona. But 2 times I got to fly in a helo or a helicopter. And what's really cool about that is it's smaller. It's open in the back. You fly closer to the water. It's beautiful. You're weaving in and out of the Hawaiian Islands. You got great views. And then we land there, and then we take our Hummers up to the mountain and do all of our important training.
Nice. So, you're a Marine at this point. You have done tons of training, and you're going to deploy to Iraq. How do you get to Iraq from Hawaii?
I take a big old airplane, the biggest one I've ever kind of flew on. It was a double-decker civilian aircraft. The flight crew and the flight attendants were all civilians, but the only people on the plane were the Marines in my unit. And we flew from Hickam Air Force Base in Hawaii to Anchorage, Alaska. We refueled there, and then flew from Anchorage to Amsterdam, refueled there, and then from Amsterdam flew to Kuwait, which is a military base over there we like to call Camp Cupcake. And we're there for a couple days, and then we helo or helicopter from Kuwait into Iraq. And the part that I was at is in the Al Anbar province, specifically Haditha, which would be my home for the next 8 months.
Ooh, what a journey. Do you take the exact same journey on the way home from Iraq?
No, a little bit different, but kind of similar. So from Haditha, we take a helo or a helicopter to Kuwait, and we're there for a couple days.
So that's the same.
That's the exact same. And then from there, it just depends on what your flight manifest looks like. And mine, we flew from Kuwait in another big old civilian aircraft where the flight attendant and the pilots are all civilian.
And how many people are on that huge plane that brings you there and back?
Like 300, 350. It's a huge plane, massive, right? So we fly from Kuwait to Ireland, refill in Ireland, and then Ireland to Bangor, Maine, refuel in Maine. Then we go fly to March Air Force Base in California. We had some reservists with us on our flight, so we dropped them off and then refilled. And then from March Air Force Base in California, we flew directly to Hawaii, and we were lucky enough to land on the Marine Corps base in Kaneohe, which was really cool.
Compared to where else might you have landed?
Hickam Air Force Base, which is right next to Honolulu Airport, right? So it's connected. So we actually got
But you're right at home at your base, so
right
that's
at home,
even better.
which saves another trip. We didn't have to get on a bus, but yeah, landed right on the Marine Corps base, which was really, really cool.
And there's a funny story about your journey home from Iraq and the first time you guys touched down on U.S. soil. Do you want to tell that one?
Yeah, so real quick story about that is I didn't know this at the time, but a lot of planes come and touch down in Bangor, Maine for the first time to touch American soil, which is awesome. Tons of emotions because we hadn't been in America, for 8 months. And when we get through the jet bridge and into the terminal, there is a bunch of Vietnam veterans there to shake our hands and welcome us back to America, which, like, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it right now. So cool. And it was super early in the morning, and guess what?
What?
They opened the bar for us.
What could go wrong?
Yes, so the bar was open. We hadn't drank in 8 months, and guess what? We got drunk. Early in the morning, we drank them out of all their booze. We're taking shots. We're shotgunning beers. We are a hot mess. And then we get back on the plane, and for the last 8 months, we're not doing laundry like in a washing machine. We're doing like old hand washing, so we don't smell the best, right? Like it's already
Before you get drunk, you already stink.
we already stink, right? So then we're a little bit stinky, and now we're real drunk, and then we gotta still fly, right? So what could go wrong? Well, there's like 300 of us and only a couple bathrooms.
300 drunk Marines.
And guess what? We start dropping like dominoes, one after another. Everyone's running to the bathroom, right? Not to use the bathroom, but to throw up in the bathroom. So people are throwing up. They're not even, some people can't even get to the bathroom. They're throwing up in the little baggies. It smells like shit, right? So I felt so bad for the flight attendants because they had to put up with us being smelly and drunk. But then after everyone kind of threw up, we all fell asleep. So it was pretty funny. So
Great. So you get back to Hawaii safe and sound. You get out of the Marine Corps, but you're still a Marine, always.
once a Marine,
Spoiler alert, we know that you don't leave Hawaii. So what? It sounded like you wanted to stay in California. You made the best of being in Hawaii, but then you didn't leave when you got out. Why?
Yeah, I mean,
Just waiting for me to show up?
I was. You know, look at this pretty thing right there. No. No. So I was there for 3 years, but I was traveling, and we didn't get to like go out and experience all the wonderful things that Hawaii had, like to be like a regular civilian. So I decided that I was going to go to college at the University of Hawaii, and I was going to stay there for 1 year, and 1 year led to 4. I graduated. I loved it. And guess what? I never moved back to California.
Never.
Ever.
Still, to date, it's not happening. All right, that covers it. Before we close, we do have a resource for you. Bryce, tell them what it is.
Yeah, Angela and I, just a couple weeks ago, saw a documentary on Netflix called We the Marines. It is narrated by Gene Hackman, who is a Marine, which I didn't know that, which was really, really cool. It's like a 25, 30-minute documentary, kind of goes a little bit more in depth on becoming a Marine and everything that's entailed and training and stuff like that.
It's quick. It shows a lot of cool videos about what training happens where. Civilians can understand it, and when Bryce and I watched it, I asked him to tell me what was accurate and what wasn't, and he loved it all, was super accurate. And generally when Marines are portrayed, not in a documentary, but on TV or in a movie, he's always like, this is wrong, that is wrong, Marines don't say that, Marines don't do that. So this is a good documentary approved by Bryce.
First phase, they broke me down. My second phase, I wasn't messing around. The third phase, I was lean and mean. My graduation standing tall on my green. And that's the life that we live. The motivation is what we give. The MCT, they train.
A little bit of Marine's already rubbing off on Ange. She's using the knife hand.
Knife hand!
We call knife hands.
Hand! Okay, let's wrap this up. Our next video will cover how our travels escalated, because you guys know that we travel all the time and it wasn't always this way. There were a few significant things that happened. We'll tell you all about that. Please, in the meantime, get in touch. Subscribe here, there, whatever, one of these corners. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow along on Facebook and or Instagram. Tell a friend and get in touch. We would love to know if you have ideas for these videos, questions you want to ask us, things you want us to explain. We'd be happy to do so. So, that does it for today. Thank you.
And hoorah.
See you next time, Devil Dogs.